Good evening. I was asked to participate in the questionnaire relative to police brutality in the current situation involving George Floyd. So, in order to keep solid in my word and respectful to my friend, here's a go. How has the situation affected you? Well, really, it really did surprise me. I mean, I even had the foresight to not even watch the video. I haven't seen the video myself, because I know after all the other videos I've watched that all it does is further add on to the trauma. The trauma of, pretty much just being a black person, not only in the United States, but in the world. Because, white supremacy in itself, which is racism, is a global sport. Let's see. Do you fear for your safety? No, I do not fear for my safety any more than... No, I don't fear for my safety. And I'll tell you one thing about fear. The biggest thing that you can use to combat fear is preparedness. If you're prepared, then the impact of fear is often insignificant. Fear can also motivate you. Fear can motivate you to succeed. Fear can motivate you to protect yourself. Next question is, have I ever been a victim of police brutality? Yeah, when I was in college, they had a rule. They came up with a rule that in certain areas, like just say in front of the girls' dorms, which were like 3 of them, after 12 o'clock, if you were over there, you were considered trespassing. Now, we had security guards that were also Metro policemen. So one night I went to the store, and there's like a little area behind this one particular dorm where you can cut through the fence and it's a shortcut to the store. So I went to that shortcut before 12 and went home, walked to my apartment, and then I realized I didn't have my key. So what I did was I retraced my steps. And I went back up to the yard through my route and was walking around, looking around the yard, trying to find my key, whatever. And suddenly there's a police officer behind me. And, he comes to me aggressively, and then I tell him, well, I'm looking for my key. I'm a student here. Well, he goes on to say, well, it's trespassing, whatever. And one thing about it is, when knowing that these police officers are up there, we're up there all the time. So, and it's we have a predominantly female, it was predominantly woman campus, or female, however you want to put it. So, not to be braggadocious, but I'm moderately decent looking. So I was pretty popular. And then you would kind of notice with these guys that, may I say this particular guy, that there might be a little envy. But anyhow, to go back to the story, he reaches for my hand, and so I pull my hand back a little, then he aggressively grabs it, and then he takes the other hand he has, and he kind of like gives me an uppercut or whatever. So me being smart enough to know better, I just let my arms drop. And at that point, what he did was put the cuffs on real tight, and had me up. It pretty much walked me in front of a whole floor, like it was an office, the office, whatever dorm, the dorm I'm by. It was a whole row of my fellow female classmates there. So I'm sitting up there looking like a convict. My arms all behind my back. He got circulation being cut off my wrist. For trespassing on the campus, I paid thousands of dollars to be at. Now, what happened after that? I tried to get assistance from my school. Didn't get much assistance there. You know, I was bound over to the grand jury because I wasn't about to plead guilty. I missed my court date because the grand jury doesn't announce when the court date is. You know, they call the person whoever bonded you out. Now, I guess they called my uncle and he missed the call. So, when I found out about it, I went down there to tell them what had happened. I ended up getting locked up for 30 days. For 30 days. For, you know, for trespassing on campus. But nevertheless, next question. Do I fear for my siblings? Once again, that goes back to preparedness. Most of my siblings, well, pretty much all of my siblings are women. So, I mean, and their personality, you know, of course, that doesn't really matter in some situations because the police will pretty much attack any black person of any type of personality or status or whatever. Well, to go back, I don't necessarily fear for my siblings, you know, because, you know, I don't doubt that something might happen, but no, I don't fear for that, you know, because I know that they're intelligent and smart enough to know not to put themselves in a position where they have to deal with it. Okay, so next question is, have I ever protested? To some degree, yeah. You know, and the question is, what was my experience? My experience with protests is that they make you feel real good at the moment. They make you feel like you're accomplishing something. Until after the fact, you realize that nothing really has changed and everything is pretty much the same status quo. And especially in situations where there are protests that are occurring where people might join your protest, but they have their own ulterior motives that may be counter to yours. Therefore, they use your platform in order to uplift their platform, and when they originally probably didn't have any interest in your best interest in the first place. Okay, so next question. Has supporting this cause caused you to lose friends? No. Number one, if this cause caused me to lose friends, then those people weren't my friends in the first place. Because no matter whether people might put the stamp of police brutality on it, but in the end it all comes down to racism. So if you have a problem with me, you know, speaking out against white supremacy, which is racism, then, you know, you're not in my best interest. You're really not in the best interest of my survival. So it's no loss to me. Next question. What are my views on looting? I mean, I kind of am indifferent, actually. And I guess it's kind of selfish because really I haven't been a victim of looting. I'm right up here in a major city, you know, I'm in Illinois, near a major city, and you can pretty much guess. And it's heavy. The looting going on up here, heavy. And I mean, I know that once it all dies down, you know, the loot store is going to be sick. You know, people going to be selling all kind of stuff. But regardless, I mean, it goes back to something like what Fannie Lou Hamer said. It says I mean, I'm going to paraphrase what she said. She said something to the fact that, you know, these black men are out here struggling. They can't find work. They can't find jobs. And they say, you know, they say to themselves, if we can't have what you have, then you can't either. So that pretty much comes to the point of what looting is. You know, you can't. It's only so for so long that you can put yourself in that someone can be in a position that is artificially fabricated that places them above you. You know, in all areas of activity, whether it be politics, religion, medicine, academics, law. Then you pretty much what do you have? The quote, President Tangerine what do you have to lose? So this next question is, what message would I want to leave? The message I want to leave is, be careful, be smart, be aware, educate yourself. I mean, I really can't say much. Just, this isn't the last time this is going to happen. I'm really surprised, not necessarily surprised, I'm really suspicious on how big that this whole circumstance has gotten, because never in my life have I ever seen one single black person that of no notoriety get this much attention nationally and worldwide, just from being killed by the police, considering that under this president, under the last president, there are far more people being victimized by police brutality. But meanwhile, what his last act was to write a bill that added federal protections for police. So this is it. It probably went a little bit longer than what I thought it was, but it is what it is. All I can say in the end is, you shouldn't have to beg someone to, you shouldn't have to beg someone to believe that your life is important, that your life matters. My life matters. My people's lives matter. And this is a declarative statement. This is not something that in which I have to implore you to consider. This is a statement. This is a declaration. Black first. Black united. Black is one.